This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of February 28, 2022. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. That quote sums up the week. 2 sentences, whole week. There you go. It's attributed to the German poet, playwright, writer, philosopher, scientist Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. There's some indication that some of the language wasn't entirely correctly translated, and there's been some embroidering on the words, which itself also fits the energy of the week. This is a week of genius, awakening, liberation, magical meldings, feelings of connection with all of life, compassion, a fresh start, pennies from heaven, receiving outpourings from a source that has nothing to do with life here on this earth, and yet being extraordinarily focused on life here on this earth, in this moment, the practical, the mundane, thoughts grounding, points of view becoming extremely solid and contained, and most importantly, hitting a moment in the project management that's been going on since the beginning of December, hitting a moment of fierce commitment, moving forward, stripping down and making something absolutely powerfully real, and then personalizing it, whatever that means to you. All of this comes with a growing sense of what's possible in our lives, a growing expansiveness, a growing optimism. How is this possible, given what we've been seeing in the news? And yet, that's what's happening. The week begins with an opportunity aspect from the sun to Uranus, the agent of unpredictable change, inviting us to look at ourselves and our lives radically differently. That has a possibility of a massive lucky break, which continues with the Pisces new moon on the 2nd, which has the planet of luck, the planet of beneficence. Bigger is better. Jupiter right there in the middle of the Piscean Sea with the sun and the moon, and also in an opportunity aspect to Uranus. Lucky breaks, clarifying boundaries, very suddenly Mercury meeting Saturn at the same time, and that requiring responsibility in thoughts and communications, possibly requiring taking responsibility for being accountable for what we've been thinking and saying. It definitely puts walls, constraints, limitations on what's been going on. So there's an element of focus and seriousness in communications and thoughts. And then the rest of the week is big, big, big action. On March 3rd, Venus and Mars meet with Pluto. Venus has been in the sign of Capricorn since December. She's met with Pluto twice on December 11th and December 25th. Those dates may end up having some resonance for you in whatever happens this week. She had a meeting with Mars on the 16th of February. When Venus and Mars meet, which usually happens only once a year. This year we're getting a long time of them being on the buddy system. Desire fuses with the will to go make something happen. And since this has been happening in Capricorn, the focus has been step-by-step, incremental, very, very worldly, very practical, very long-term, hence the project management statement earlier. On the 3rd, they meet with Pluto, which brings a ferocity, a feral nature to it. Whatever it is we're going after strips down to the absolute fundamentals and takes on almost frightening power. You will find yourself moving forward on something you've been working on, something you've been building toward, and it happens organically, powerfully, forcefully. Use that as your timing, what you're up to this week. On the 5th, the sun meets with Jupiter, and our concept of what we can do, what is possible, just starts mushrooming. That brings enormous optimism. So no matter what has been going on in your life, you will have the feeling of, I can do this, and also a huge dose of permission to indulge. And then on the 6th, Venus and Mars together change signs. They move from Capricorn to Aquarius, and they meet again at the very degree where the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction happened on December 19th, 2020. That conjunction set up a framework of potentials, like this is what the world could be, here we go, set up a framework for the next 20 years. Venus and Mars moving to that exact spot now personalizes that potential, puts your own personal custom stamp on what you're going to do. And effectively, I found myself saying this in a client consultation recently, Venus and Mars are moving out of Santa baby mode into dawning of the age of Aquarius, let the sun shine, from the musical Hair. No, life isn't going to suddenly become roses forever and ever and ever. It's not a time of, oh, look, rainbows and unicorns, wee-hee. Well, there might be kind of a little feeling of that, but the main takeaway is hope. Homing thought of the week, just do it. Song of the week, oh, I've got a bunch of them. The Bugs Bunny Show theme song. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. And This Is the Moment from the musical Jekyll and Hyde. I have to tell you, I have judgments about that musical, but the song really fits. The image of the week, I also have two well-equipped hikers holding hands walking across a rope bridge. And Pandora's box. After Pandora has opened it, and all the horribles have flown out, and she finds at the bottom the one thing remaining in the box: hope. You'll learn more about all of this in my forecasts for the month of March and the Pisces new moon. The month of March is already up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net. The Pisces new moon will be up by Monday. And at my site, you can also join my mailing list and get a thank you of a Jupiter in Pisces downloadable PDF and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio on the 1st and 3rd Mondays of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern, and my first show of the month coming next week does involve hope and compassion. I also host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group The Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm very grateful to the people who continue to support my work there. I'm on Instagram at @KABiehl and on YouTube at The Professional Aquarian Channel. Talk to you next week.